Hey guys, Nate Radine, Critical Calcio, with my boy, special guest of the day, Kilo. I'm currently fostering Kilo, and he's available at Santa Barbara Shelter. But let's talk about some Serie A transfers, because things are starting to heat up. Like I had mentioned, I said these teams need to sell. Some sales were made, and things are starting to happen. So first team, let's cover AC Milan, because they are all of a sudden coming out of freaking nowhere and having a great market. So Noah Okafor was bought. Dynamic striker from RB Salzburg, 15 mil. Last year, RB Salzburg wanted 35 mil for him, and they just got him for 15. So numerically, very good deal. Will not be starting. He's kind of like imagine like a Ante Rebic replace with, in my opinion, a much higher ceiling. So good, great depth signing there from Milan. And then also another big one, news just broke today. Chukwueze, the right wing from Villarreal. Deal completed between them and Milan for 20 mil plus 20 mil fixed and 8 mil in add-ons. So that is a massive signing for them. Villarreal wanted 80 mil for him last year. So to get 20 mil, he is on his last year, so I guess a little bit expensive there. But for the player they're getting, I mean, kind of like a similar, like, they kind of have another Rafael Leao on their right. They're obviously like different sort of players, but same sort of danger coming at you. So, an attack of Leao and Chukwueze and Giroud and whoever takes that center attacking midfield spot, whether it be Pulisic, Romero, CDK, Adley. It's a pretty good looking unit up top. Inter making a little bit of noise too. Well, not necessarily noise, but they sold Onana. Kind of a bummer because he did so well. Sold him for, I believe, 45 mil, or maybe I'm getting the numbers mixed up. Maybe it was 54. But he went to Manchester United. So expect Inter, obviously, to reinvest that money. They will. I've been hearing things about Jan Sommer. That's been a pretty consistent rumor, and it makes sense as he's a very good goalie and he's a backup at Bayern Munich. So that one makes sense. There were some new rumors coming out today about Emi Martinez. I would imagine Aston Villa would want an arm and a leg for him, considering they're in Europe next year. So for them to part with someone like him, I don't see that likely. So that seems kind of like a BS rumor. But expect Inter to reinvest those funds in a goalie, and I would expect an attacker, since the Lukaku deal fell through. I've been seeing Balogun being mentioned, which is cool. U.S. men's national team striker. Won't be cheap. 40, 50 mil, maybe. Maybe Beppe Murata pulls something out of his ass, gets him for like 30. I don't know. But that would be cool. It'd be really cool to see some talent like that head over to Italy. Another deal that happened for Lazio, surprisingly opening up his pocketbooks. I am not exactly sure how to pronounce this guy's name, but Valentin Castellanos, something like that. He's a striker from New York City FC. So a little bit of depth behind Ciro Immobile. Remember, Lazio did really well last year. They finished in second place. They're going to be in the Champions League. So depth is going to be required for them, fighting on all three fronts. Third front I'm referring to as Coppa Italia. So, and they sold Milinkovic-Savic. So and they spent about half of that on a striker. So I would expect more investments to come. They definitely need more depth to, they're obviously going to try and make it out of the group stage and qualify again. And they're going to need a lot of depth for that. As we saw with AC Milan last year, Made a great run, but their domestic form faltered, and let's be real, Milan would not have qualified for the Champions League if it wasn't for Juve's point deduction. So, maybe Lazio taking notes off of that, which is smart. And then the final transfer we're going to talk about today, Fiorentina with another sneaky move, picking up Arthur from Juventus for, I believe, 2.5 mil, which is kind of crazy. This guy was spoken about so highly when he was at Barcelona, and then they must have saw something, because there was that weird swap deal with Miralem Pjanic, and he came over to Juventus. And then it didn't really work out for him there. And then they loaned him to Liverpool, and it didn't really work out for him there. And he went back to Juve, and it didn't work out for him there. And then they said, fuck it, we're done with you. We're going to sell you well below market value to Fiorentina. And who knows, maybe that's a blessing in disguise for this guy. Fiorentina has I don't want to say a sneaky good team, but they have a very, very good team. They should be in a conference league or a Europa League contention for one of those this year. So I like that move. Or they spent 2 mil for a guy who's gonna bust, and that's, in my mind, that's worth a gamble. That's a smart move. So that's really all right now. There's a lot of rumors, but we don't really need to talk about rumors. But other than that, guys, I would expect to start seeing more Italian teams kind of open up their pocketbooks a little bit. Like I mentioned in the beginning, these guys need to sell before they can do anything. We're not talking about Premier League teams like Arsenal who can go buy fucking Kai Havertz and Declan Rice without making any sales. These teams are not in the same position. So sales are made, players are going to be bought. It's just a matter of time. I will keep you updated until that happens. Nate and Kilo out. Bye.